For Alumasteel, and today we're going to do a very brief demonstration on how to use the Alumasteel TIG rod to weld aluminum to steel. Now here we have the rods color coded. The first rod, or step 1, is Alumasteel number 1, and if you notice the ends, it's color coded black on the tip and it goes in the black container. Alumasteel number 2 is color coded red and it goes in the red container. This way you don't get them mixed up. So Alumasteel number 1 is for coating the steel or stainless, whichever you're going to join the aluminum to. And then you use step number 2, or Alumasteel number 2, to join the aluminum to the steel or stainless. Now let's talk a little bit about the pulsing technique. The information is posted on the web page, but we'll explain a little bit more about it. To do the pulsing technique, which you're going to use strictly on the aluminum, you preset your temperature to a temperature that you're going to max the machine, so you're not going to go any higher than that. I've got my machine set for 160. So to do the pulsing technique, you're going to use Alumasteel number 2, which is the red tip, and basically you're going to start the arc and you're going to put 1 drop, and then you back your rod back just a little bit, and then you're going to push your foot control all the way down very quickly, and kind of like this. Starting temperature, get an arc going, put a drop of rod, back your rod away just a little bit, keep it in the coverage zone, push the foot control all the way down so that you watch the bead flatten out, and as you do that, after it flattens out, you release your foot control back up to starting temperature again. And then you do the same process. You put another drop, back away a little bit, push all the way down, back to starting temperature. Another drop, all the way down, and you just keep continuing doing that. And that's how you do the pulse technique using Alumasteel number 2. And we're going to demonstrate that right now. Okay, so now we're getting ready to weld a piece of aluminum to a piece of steel. Now, what you first want to do is you want to use Alumasteel number 1, which is the black tip colored rod, and we're going to use it to coat the steel. And that's how we're able to do this process, because you're giving it just a light coat in order for Alumasteel number 2 to be able to bond to the steel. So we're going to do that right now. And when you weld this, for Alumasteel number 1, you just use your standard TIG welding technique. There's no pulsing, there's nothing involved, just do what you know how to do. You just run a bead, just like you're welding steel or stainless, same technique, no pulsing on this first step. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, it just ran one little pass, and the whole purpose for that is just so that we coat the steel. And that's basically what it looks like when you got your first pass on there. Standard TIG welding technique, no pulsing, just run a bead. Whether it's steel or stainless, you're going to do the same step. So this is step number 1. And we're going to grab a piece that we've done already so that it's cooled down, because we don't want to transfer the heat to the aluminum. This is another technique that will help you when you're first starting off. If you were to weld it with your aluminum on there, your heat is going to transfer into the aluminum, and it's very difficult to see when it's overheating. So that's why, for demonstration purposes, I'm showing that you can weld a bead onto your steel first and kind of get it ready and let it cool down, and you'll have better control. 3. Okay, so we've got a piece that we've done already, and just on the bottom pass, and we even sanded it down a little bit. The Alumasteel 1 rod that you're going to use, the Alumasteel number 1 rod that you're going to use, is mainly to give a very thin coating onto the steel or stainless. And because you may get oxidation, you're going to want to maybe sand it down a little bit. It'll give you a cleaner pass. So that's all I did right there. Now that it's cooled down, it's going to help, because on DC TIG, you're not able to discern when the aluminum is getting too hot. So that's why I'm doing it this way, and that will also help you. Okay, now something that's very important to mention is, you'll notice we're using a gas diffuser lens. Now this is extremely important. We don't recommend using anything else. And the reason being is because the fact that you are DC TIG welding, a standard cut will not give you the good coverage that you need, because what you're doing is, when you're using the aluminum steel number 2 to join the aluminum to the steel, you're going to put a drop back your rod just a little bit away, and then you're going to push the foot control all the way down so that the bead will flow out. And by using this gas diffuser lens, it helps to keep the rod in the coverage zone so you don't get oxidation and contamination into your weld puddle. Also, this is the aluminum steel number 2. It's got the red tip. This is for joining the aluminum to the steel or stainless, whatever it is you're going to do. And there's your first pass that we did. Now we're going to join the two together. So we're going to do that right now. And what we're doing is, now you're going to use the pulsing technique that we talked about. This is to join aluminum to the steel. Set your temperature, keep your machine set the same as you did when you're doing the steel. You're only going to use your foot control to do the pulsing. You're going to get to an arc starting temperature. That's just so you can put a drop of rod, back your rod away just a little bit, with the foot control all the way down, then immediately release it back up, back to starting temperature. And that is the complete pulse cycle. And you'll see the puddle or the droplet flow out, and that's how you know you release it right away. Okay, so we're going to do that now. Okay, so this is just for demonstration purposes. As you can see, we had the root pass, and then afterward we put the second pass. Now, here when I started off, the part was kind of cold, and that's why you see this area right here where it looks like I didn't fuse it well enough. I was a little concerned. I didn't know if the part was heating up already, so that's why I was hesitating. And then after I felt comfortable, then I started going, and you can see the bead flattening out more better. And then here I slowed down because I was getting towards the end, and I didn't want to make sure I wasn't overheating it. So anyways, that's it. That's all you do using the aluminum steel number 2 rod. You're doing the pulsing technique. And then be sure to wrap your welds around so that you have a complete bead. And that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching.